Welcome everybody to the Persian Perspective, where we
The
cover up anything comedy. Oh yeah, please say. I forgot that you do that.
The Persian Perspective.
The Persian Perspective. A knockoff of Naughty America. So this is a podcast where we cover up anything comedy, anything that our old Lord Savior Satan will worship, that we worship, covers up and likes. Today we have a special guest, Kavin Raj. You can see his comedy special on Netflix, Everybody Calm Down. And he has graced us with his appearance on our shitty podcast, which we've been trying to start up for the past 25 minutes. I can't even tell.
Funny
he just
enough,
doesn't want to be here.
Kavin Raj is the guy who plays hockey, and Kavin Jay is the guy who's joining you today. But I mean, I'm sorry you go to Kavin Raj. I mean, look, I would like him as well. He would really be a good podcast. Guest. I guess hey, look, I understand. I'm not, your first choice. Kavin Raj couldn't make it. It's okay. I get it. It's okay.
Yeah, no.
I'm second choice. Look, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, no. This is a hockey podcast. You want to roll with
always told me it will be a failure.
Yeah, we're here with Calvin Raj.
Yes, Calvin Raj. Who could not make it, but he's being played by a comedian called Kavin Jay.
Yeah. Rafiq Karim and Army Hammer. Yes, the premier cannibal of Hollywood. Yes.
Played by Army Screwdriver.
The Army Screwdriver. Yeah. Makes a good vodka cocktail.
Yeah, great vodka cocktail. And an awesome cannibal. Heard of that guy?
Yeah. We keep talking about Army Hammer. Yeah, we keep talking about him all the time for reasons I don't quite understand. But he keeps coming up because for some odd reason, a reoccurring theme in this show is cannibalism. Somehow it always goes back to cannibalism.
I need some context here. So there's a guy named Screwdriver who is a cannibal.
Yes.
No, there's a guy named Army Hammer who's a cannibal.
Oh, okay. So there's a guy named Army Hammer.
Yes.
He's a cannibal?
Well, he sort of got caught online talking about his cannibalism fetish to a bunch of other girls.
Okay. I didn't know. This is news to me. Look, I mean, you learn something new every day.
Yeah. But not names, huh?
This is recently. He was sending text a girl about wanting to take her to a doctor to remove her rib, to eat the rib. Maybe remove a toe. Apparently, to take a knife and hack his name into their pussy.
Right. Okay. I mean, I thought anal was bad, but okay.
Fun stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Hey, whatever rocks your boat, bro. I mean,
Honestly, removing a rib is just dinner, right?
Well,
who doesn't like a good rib?
I mean, when you go, we're having ribs for dinner, doesn't mean yours. You know what I'm saying?
So in the Bible, Eve was created from Adam's rib, so I guess he just wants the loan back. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but yeah.
Fair enough.
But the meat around the bone is what you eat, what? It's not the rib, right?
No. I suppose you could save the rib for a soup or a stock.
Yeah. Get some bone marrow.
Maybe.
Make some good ramen.
Yes.
Get some good ramen.
Tonkotsu ramen. Probably not an awful lot of meat around a human rib, I imagine. We're not cows.
Actually, you might be surprised how much meat there is around a human rib.
See, how do you know is the question.
You see. No, that's excellent question.
I mean, I'm just saying you might be surprised. I'm not saying you will be. I'm just saying you might be because, hey, Karap, you and I got more meat around, any bone than a lot of people put together. You know what I'm saying?
It's mostly
I can eat your fingers and I'll still be for lunch. An index finger serves a lunch.
We're mostly lardons, let's be real.
I think if somebody gets caught up in an island alone with you two, I think you guys will make a very... I'm 70 kg at best, lean meat, got nothing, like won't help you guys, help anybody out. I'll be gone in an hour, like serve for a lunch or something. You guys, I think, can feed for 2 weeks.
No, but here's the thing, right? If you were stuck in an island with either me or Akib, and if you were forced to eat us, you would die within a day of cardiac arrest with the amount of cholesterol that's going into your bloodstream.
Yeah, we would give you beatus immediately.
Yeah, immediately you get diabetes. Immediately you get a coronary problem, and you will die. We will come back to life and eat you. You understand? You will be the healthy choice. You will be like the Weetabix. Okay, so everybody, yes, you could stretch us out, but for how long? Because you won't be alive to stretch us out. So yeah, might as well drink seawater and die.
I don't think you've ever had Iranian food, but I think I'll be able to handle you guys just fine. I'll use your rib cage to make a boat.
Okay, you know that we don't have more rib cage than anybody else, right? It's the same amount of rib cage covered in shit.
That's not how bones work, man.
It's not like, the fact that just because we have extra meat doesn't mean we have extra bones. That, hey, we can make a boat with this guy. Like, no, it's the same amount of bones. It's the same. Hey, look, you take away our flesh, the skeletons look the same, you understand?
Yeah.
I do wish my skeleton scaled with my body, because do you realize how tanky I would be if my skeleton was proportionate to my actual size?
Exactly. And this guy is like thinking, oh no, kill this guy, we get a boat. Like, no, you can kill a skinny guy, get the same boat. You understand? Okay, and at least the skinny guy is easier to stab. Okay, because when you stab him, you will hit something. Okay, if you stab a fat guy, it will take you a while before you hit anything.
I can confirm this.
Yeah, Rakib told me that last week. It's like, fuck, fat saved your life.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah,
you think this is vanity? No, this is fucking self-defense, bro.
I still live in a place where I got stabbed, so I'm just armoring up in case it happens again.
Yeah, you didn't get stabbed far away from your home house.
No, I actually still do my grocery shopping pretty within walking distance of where I got stabbed. But it doesn't bother me. Like, what? They're going to stab me there again? Didn't work the last time.
Isn't that the saying goes, right? You never get stabbed twice in the same place.
I think that's the lightning.
Oh, right.
Oh, no. It's a saying now. You never get stabbed twice in the same place. Yeah. It's probably true, too.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're in Brickfields, then it might happen.
Brickfields, yeah.
Hey, Brickfields is a beautiful place. It's one of those places. It's colorful. It's nice. It's where Indian people, go to buy
show their love.
Yeah. Hey, look, we need some place. We can't go to Klang because there you definitely get killed.
I've been to Klang. I went to Klang with a pregnant white girl, and that was a bad move because now it looks like I'm showing off.
You went to Klang with a pregnant white. You are showing off. What the fuck? You're showing off right now. What the fuck? Okay? Yeah. I've been to TTDI with a white girl with 2 children.
She was a German anthropologist. She was a German anthropology student, and I was showing her around.
Wow.
And she was like, we were at a loss as to what to do, and she says, I've never been to Klang. You know what? I've never been to Klang either. And she says, let's go to Klang. And we're like, okay, let's go to Klang. Right. So we did.
That's what we're going to do.
Well, the Germans do like their kinky stuff.
We went to a museum.
Maybe what, in Klang? A museum or what? Parang is it?
The Royal Museum is in Klang. The Sultan's Museum is in Klang.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, because, Bandar Diraja and everything. It's supposed to be the royal city, right, Klang? The royals don't live there. No? They also left. You understand? Yeah.
Oh, man. Shit. And what did happen exactly there? We went to a museum to show her what exactly?
There was not much to do. That's the problem. So we just ended up going to a museum and then having toast and coffee at a coffee shop. And that was about it.
She was pregnant at that time.
Oh, she was pregnant at the time. No, she's a friend.
Pregnant la.
Hey. Hey.
Like, can you please stop?
That doesn't stop people, okay? That doesn't stop people.
Look, we've all went through the genre of porn, okay? But still, okay, she's pregnant and look, Rakib was doing the right thing, okay, to take her to Klang to show her what a bad decision that was.
Yes.
To get pregnant.
It was not a good time.
It's like, fuck.
But you understand how it looks. Because she's a very good friend of mine, but when I'm next to her walking around Klang, I look like I'm the one who impregnated her. And I'm just showing off. And, most of the time people are like, what the fuck is he doing with her? How did he manage to do this?
Then they find out she's German and they go like,
yeah, shit.
German,
yeah.
German, yeah.
From Berlin.
I dated a German girl. My first ever girlfriend was a German girl in Malaysia. Yeah, worst decision of my life.
Wait, you Iranian come to Malaysia and date a German girl. What kind of nonsense? Our girl not good enough for you, is it?
Hey, I'm not saying they're not good enough. I'm just saying there was an opportunity.
If you say they're not good enough, I agree with you, but still.
No, they're fantastically fine. Actually, it made me have a breakthrough regarding this whole thing that people like look at other white guys and when they come to Asia, I'd be like, oh, you have yellow fever, or oh, it's not yellow fever, it's yellow relief. Because those motherfuckers experience white girls and they know what kind of a fucked up shit they're into. They're fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I'm just saying. But, I lived in England for 5 years of my life. And, going outside of England was like, resting my eyes.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that English women are not good looking or anything like that, but it's sometimes painful.
Really?
Painful.
What kind of Hogwarts troll cave did you go and find dates at?
Oh, it's called Newcastle, bro.
Oh, okay, that's your problem. Because even in this,
the quality of the girls were not really.
Oh no, it was bottom pickings, lah. Put it that way.
They're from the Shire.
Actually, yeah, Gloucestershire.
You should know. There's this one of the first Iranian comedians I ever saw was Omid Jalili, and Omid Jalili has this line in one of his specials that says, "Because even in Iran, we know that Newcastle is a shithole."
He came to perform at the Hyena Club. I don't know if I told you this, but the Hyena Club is this. It's a place of legend, right? In Newcastle, it's shut down now. It's under new management. I don't know if it's still a comedy club or not, but in the late 90s and early 2000s, there was this club in Newcastle called the Hyena. Now, the Hyena was a place where comedians go to die, right? It was one of those places where if you think you have the world at your feet as a comedian, go to the Hyena, you will find something different. You'll find out that you're not all that. Right, I've seen comedians like Jack D, huge comedians who Russell Howard, Dara O'Brien come there and die.
Really?
Die on their ass.
Die because like the people have such high expectations, or because they're like just so fucking crazy drunk as off their ass, like will heckle the fuck out of you and kill you.
100% the second one. The comedy club is not meant for you to go and enjoy comedy. It's for you to go and enjoy yourself, get drunk, and then heckle the comedian and make their life miserable. It's a reverse comedy club in a way, right? So people go there and they try. You can see them trying, right? But these guys are like just heckling and don't care. They basically, comedians get booed off stage. There's only one comedian that I saw never get booed off stage, which was a local boy, Ross Noble. He always kills because he does crowd work, blah blah blah. Turns it back on them and everybody has a good time, right? Apparently. But yeah, it was a place of legend. If you know any British comedian, ask them about the Hyena early 2000s.
Fuck.
Really?
Yeah, everybody will tell you that reputation, bro.
But why were you at the Hyena Club if you were there to die? Is that it?
Did you watch?
No. I wasn't performing comedy then. At that time I love to go watch comedy, right? Because I was a student in UK. I just wanted to watch comedy, and we used to go up to the Hyena because that would be Wednesday nights, which student was £2 per ticket or something like that. It was very cheap.
Okay, dirt cheap.
Yeah. So yeah, we used to get really cheap tickets. We go out there and drinks were like super cheap. So we used to get sloshed and then go watch a comedy show, or at least go watch a comedian die.
That can be. I ran a room. I ran a room in this neighborhood where I live, where the only thing you can do is die. Pretty much.
Is this Wonder Mama?
Wonder Mama, yeah. You were there.
Oh
You
yeah,
tried
I've
your
been 3
best.
times.
Yeah, so it was the lounge, the upstairs lounge of like a family restaurant where like 20-something-year-old yuppies would just spend their time there. But these people were clearly not there for comedy. I don't know why they were there. Maybe they were there to burn time before actually partying before. But all I can say was that it's like I don't think comprehension was the highest in that room. Like nobody seemed to even understand the words that we were coming out of our mouths. And it was awful, and everybody died there, with the exception of maybe Aaron Au, because Aaron Au does a lot of local references and he's very high energy. Dude looks like he's on cocaine. It's like an old-timey vaudeville act, if those sort of things still existed in Malaysia. And he did very well in that kind of room.
To be fair, I did it 3 times. 2 of those times I actually had fun.
Really? Even when it was like, even when everybody was dying on their feet and the crowd was like neither here nor there?
Yeah, I had fun. I mean, it was one of those things where I just focused on the 2 people who were. I think the first time I went there, I was headlining. I was just basically just I saw everybody die before me, and then I went on, and I just knew that I was gonna die, so I'm just gonna have fun while I'm just gonna go out swinging lah. So it was one of those things where I just went like, fuck this shit. I don't care about y'all, right? And I just started making fun of every single one, and it just turned out to be a fun gig. The second time I was headlining, I was hosting. That was difficult because I just after every comedian, I would just go up and roast them for myself, and the comedians used to have a great time.
I remember now. That wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, but I mean,
I wish I was there. I have not been to that room.
Oh no! You don't want to be there. No, it's not one of those places where you would go like, hey, I want to be there. No. It was brutal. It was a place not meant to do stand up, but somehow or other somebody got paid and to do stand up there.
What kind of crowds do you get? Like ethnicity of the crowd, where are they from exactly?
I swear to God, I think they were hostages. They were threatened by the owner. If you don't go upstairs and watch comedy, you will die. And so they were there. They basically it was very very much a yuppie crowd who basically wanted to go there and have dinner, and a comedy show happened to come up in front of them.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Like these people were not there to do comedy. They wanted to eat and watch something while they ate.
Like when the host comes out for the first time, you could see the expression on their face, like, oh shit, what have we done? Like they just eating, and then next thing you know, this guy is talking. You're like, can we have just music? That's a lot better.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Bankstars area that you live in, Rakib, now the Indians have kind of taken over that area completely, especially towards Bankstars South and like.
Oh no,
I couldn't recognize it. I mean, since COVID started, actually.
Nah, Bankstars was always very Indian. So south of Bankstars is Brickfields, right? Just below Bankstars is downhill from Bankstars is Brickfields, and people have one kind of impression of Brickfields, like you just said. You went there once and you skedaddled, but just up the hill is Bankstars, where all the rich people live, right? But in between, the lower half of Bankstars is just the upper half of Brickfields. So all the middle class Indians, that's where they live. And that's where they've been living for the longest time. So it used to be that in places like Dalawi and whatnot, you would have all the people from the top of the hill come down to enjoy themselves. But then a bunch of other things opened up so they don't go there anymore. So to fill in the void, the people from down the hill came up to fill up that void. But they got money now, so they can afford that place.
There was a stabbing that was a couple of months ago happening in front of Bankstars Village.
Oh, that was interesting. That went viral, something fierce.
No, that happened. I mean, when
stabbing, happens.
Stabbings used to happen in the 90s when I used to club in Bankstars, right? It's just that nobody talked about it. Now, with the social media and everything, people are putting it up online and stuff like that. People start hearing about it. You know how many places, like Bankstars used to be one of those places where you club, and it used to be the most happening place. Like, if you wanted to be, everyone who is somebody used to be there, right? There were clubs and stuff like that, and every single club had a lifespan of a year, maybe, because every time a year passes, there will be enough stabbings for them to shut down. They would have accumulated enough stabbings to shut down. And I swear to God, I remember there was this one place called Castle, which was one of the places to be because international students want 17 ringgit per jug of beer. The beer was horrible, but fuck it, it was 17 ringgit.
It also looked like a castle.
Yeah.
I remember it looked like a castle. And then it burned down.
Oh yeah, because they have accumulated enough stabbings. I mean, if you sell a beer, a jug of beer for the price of a mug of beer now, somebody gonna get stabbed. I just say it will happen. And then there was Gridiron, that was properly like a jail. They accumulated enough stabbings. In fact, the people who owned the Gridiron were very smart. What they did was every year they used to change the name of the club so that it remained fresh, right? So that when people it was the airport at one point. So all the waitresses would dress as stewardesses, and the waiters would dress as pilots or whatever. And a year later, then they changed to the hospital where nurses and doctors.
I've been there.
So you see, if you tell people I got stabbed at the airport, and then you show up, it's the hospital now, you think, hey, maybe I won't get stabbed in the hospital. No, it's the same place you will get stabbed.
But at least they had first aid because it was the hospital.
Yeah, their first aid includes giving you a shot of vodka.
It's disinfected.
Fuck it.
Makes sense.
Most wild experiences I've had is that when I was I used to do martial arts in Bankstars, and I would get out, and then this Indian girl.
You didn't even go to a class. You just started walking down the street like it was fucking, like it was Double Dragon. You just started beating up thugs on your way to the mama shop.
No, it was like this Indian girl, pretty much from the other side of I could see a very fat Indian girl who I think she was half black because certainly she had an American black attitude. Wearing a pink dress. It was around 9:30 at night, and I just remember she kind of bolted towards me and said, "Oh my God, hey!" I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Can I suck your dick?" I was like, "No, thank you."
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, "All right." Well, that was one of my first experiences with Bankstars. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is where it happens."
Listen, when I was going Bankstars when I was 19 years old, nobody made me that offer. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
nobody made me that kind of offer. Usually it's you suck my dick or I'm going to stab you. That's mostly the offers I get. But yeah, we get what we get. We get what we get. I guess you were doing martial arts. I was doing shots. So yeah, same thing.
Yeah, Bangsa Mama shot 3 a.m. You're just trying to have supper. But suddenly a fucking MMA fight starts breaking out in the foyer, and you're like, well.
So you remember where Davies Corner is now, right? That used to be a Chinese shop called Cheap Charlie's, which is the most racist fucking shop name I could. It's called Cheap Charlie's, right? It's a Chinese shop for expats, basically. For them, it's cheap because it's not cheap at all.
Yeah.
Right, and it was I remember going there. I was like, "What the fuck? You want me to pay what for prawns? Yeah, you all can go to hell."
Yeah, cheap Charlie's.
Yeah,
was it owned by white people?
It was owned by a Chinese guy who was very smart
Very smart Chinese guy. Yeah,
he knew his demographic. Yeah, he knew his demographic well.
You said that you studied in UK. How many years were you in UK?
I was there for 5 years. More or less.
What was your experience?
It was all right. I mean, I was 17 years old when I left, so it was one of those things where I wasn't quite an adult yet, but in Malaysia it was basically in my parents' house, and I was 17-year-old Indian boy moving to the UK going, shit, just think about this, right? 17 years old, you're moving to the UK, and it's the first time out of the house. No parents to control you. You're in a foreign country. You get paid monthly because I was on a scholarship, and it was one of those things where I I did everything I could do. Everything.
You went wild.
I went wild. The second night I was in a strip club.
That's 0 to 60 in no seconds.
I'm like,
that's the first thing I looked for when I came to Malaysia. Man, was I disappointed.
You came to Malaysia to look for a strip club. Hey, you probably did a strip search. Okay, that's the best we can do.
I came. I was like, man, gonna go to the strip club. Gonna see what happened. Get some titties. Gonna do some Jello shots off their titties or something. Nothing. No. I found one strip club that was rated. That was actual in KL. Yeah, it was a secret strip club, but it wasn't like quality people. There was all she-males and everything. And they fuck this.
Listen, beggars cannot be choosers. All right, we'll take what we can get. It is
also when you got against ladyboys, they're
I
fine.
Still have standards, motherfucker. I still have standards.
Look, it's like walking a tightrope. Just don't look down. Everything else is fine. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, and you cannot be choosy. We want to see titties, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, we didn't specify what kind of titties we want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, well, titties that ideally I can fuck.
No,
you see, it's like if I buy you a lap dance, okay, Kevin. If I buy you a lap dance, hey, give my friend here, Kevin, a lap dance, and she starts like rubbing against you, and suddenly you feel this massive cock, just a throbbing cock right at your belly button. How would you feel?
No, don't buy me a lap dance. That's the whole point.
Don't buy me a lap dance.
Frankly.
Don't buy me a lap dance. First of all, sit at the back and enjoy the view. That's about it. Like, don't be choosy. All I'm saying is, look, you get what you get, okay?
Yeah.
It's not like you like what? You can't complain. It's not like you can just go and say, hey, you know what? I want something different. Cannot.
Also,
come back to me when you cut your cock off.
Also, let me just say that if the trans lady is giving you a lap dance and she's the one with the erection, I feel good about myself. Okay, I turn the trans lady on.
I'll be flattered. Like, ooh,
I'm putting that on my Tinder profile. Like, I turn trans women on,
and maybe I might get a discount.
Yeah, because we're getting each other off, which is nice. I've met a chef who was gorgeous. Okay, she was tall and statuesque, had long wavy hair. Then a friend of mine is like, she used to be a dude, right? And I'm like,
oh,
I still would.
Damn,
I still would. Because you don't. Because when you're confronted with a vision, you don't question the past.
Do not go gentle into that good night.
You don't go gentle into that good night.
Okay, here's the thing. I used to live in Bangkok for a year.
Here we go.
And, yeah.
There we go. That's a very good story.
One of my first weeks there, someone took me to a beauty pageant, and I'm like, "Fuck, these women are so hot." And they were like, and then I read the sign. It was basically, ladyboy beauty pageant, and I'm thinking to myself like, I can't tell the difference. At the end of the day, whatever lah.
Can I just have her in doggy style? Just
no.
Don't look down.
You start going home, right? With these selfies that you take with the lady boys, and then you show them to all of the women and you start yelling, you got to step up your game. You got to step up your fucking game.
Yeah.
Because you're getting competition from people who don't even have vaginas.
Yeah. I mean, when I used to live in Bangkok, right? So my friends used to come and visit all the time because they didn't have to pay for a hotel, right? Because they used to live in my house. And I only had one room, so it was a single bedroom apartment. So whenever my friends come along, I used to sleep in the hall, right? So one day, one of my friends, I shall not mention the name, had gone out and picked up what he thought was a lady, brought her home, went into the room. And while I was sleeping in the couch, suddenly I hear screaming from him. And, basically the door swinging open, and then pushes her out and slams the door. And then she sits down. She sits completely naked, by the way. Sits down and goes like, "Yeah, I told him I was a lady boy. I don't know why he never noticed before." And I'm like, give her back her clothes and kind of like, give her give us some cab money, go home, like, just make sure you're safe, kind of situation. And yeah, but I felt bad for the girl, right?
God bless Kavin Jay, patron saint of the ladyboys of Bangkok.
No, just the one, okay?
Just the one.
Everybody loved you there.
Yes.
Oh, Kevin. He'll look out for us.
Yes. Kevin going to build a church. It's going to be called Our Trans Lady of Mercy.
Oh, God. I met a guy who in Penang who actually banged a trans lady, but she had went through an operation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's
actually removed her. Yeah, she's post-operation, and like he was like, man, she was hot. She was gorgeous. I was like, man, this is gonna be amazing. And he still kind of didn't know what was. She was like so into him, and they were like making out furiously. He's sucking on her tits and all that, and takes her to her home, and she like serves some drinks, and then he tries to put it in, and he kind of keeps putting it in. He's like, the fuck, and kind of looks at it and looks odd, and she's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the fuck is up with your vagina? And she was like, what? I thought you knew. It's like, fuck no. Whatever I'm doing, I'm eating it for 2 hours. It's just not getting wet.
Man, just use some KY. It's fine. The dryness happens with other women as well, even if they didn't have a penis before. I don't know. I'm just saying, just use some lube. Just use some KY, some Vaseline, some ghee if you're kinky.
Just look at how beautiful her face is and focus on what's good.
Custard if you're Danish.
Custard.
Sorry?
Oh, Jesus.
Custard if you're Danish.
It's smooth, it's silky, and look, it's tasty afterwards. And you can't tell the difference.
I do want a custard Danish now.
I
do want a custard Danish. This is what happens when you have two fat
Everything
people
is a food metaphor.
Everything becomes food. You just wanted to
cock
talk about.
Reminds me of a hot dog.
You joke, but I want a hot dog right now. I don't know why you're joking. I could
I'll
kill
give you a hot
like.
dog.
Actually, I had A&W last night, so I'm okay.
I want a lamb merguez. That's not a euphemism.
There was also this kid who was like met this girl in a club and was a friend of ours, and we're telling him he went and got the number very quick, much more quicker than he should for a normal lady, basically. He's like, God was like, man, she's eyeing me, she's all good, and we were like, dude, that's a dude. And he wasn't listening. He was like, no, you... And then he showed attitudes like, you know what's the problem, you guys? You guys are jealous. You guys are jealous that she's into me. You guys... She wants me and doesn't want you. No? Is that what's the problem? And immediately we were like, oh, dude, yeah, totally, man. Go for it. Go for it. All bets were off. They was like, okay, man, go for it. He went immediately. We're making out for 40 minutes. I think he even busted a nut there somehow. Went back home. Then she texted him and said, I feel like what we have is very special. She texted him. What we have is very special, and I don't want to start off with a lie. You need to know that I'm a ladyboy.
Right.
We're looking out for you, piece of shit.
At least he had a connection. At least, at the end of everything, he had a connection. He had a release and, got a number. I guess, look, at the end of the day, it's win-win.
It's better than striking out at the end of the night.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like like the rest of y'all, you take it for granted. But me, I go out. Ain't nobody giving me their number. Ain't nobody offering me to suck their dick when they're wearing a pink dress at the bottom of the road, running up towards me, like Moto from Madagascar, asking me if they want to hoover my Johnson. Nobody's doing kinky shit to me, right?
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, if you had the best hot dog you've ever had, and then later on you find out it was horse meat, you'd be like, maybe horse meat is good.
Not even that. Like, you find out you have the best hot dog in the world. Like Michelin 3-star hot dog, right? Blessed by the French Laundry, makes the time list for like one of the best hot dogs in the world. Has a waiting list for about 3 years. You finally eat it, and then later on you find out that the main ingredients are lips and assholes. Are you gonna give a shit?
Of a badger.
Badger. Not
Lips
even a
and
standard
assholes of a
badger.
badger.
We're talking honey badger lips and assholes with Wolverine bladders. All right. I don't know what to tell you.
Joey Diaz had the best bit about this. A guy asked him, "Was like, if you fuck a girl and then you realize it was a trans, would you be bothered?" And he immediately just says, "Like, depends on how good the pussy was, maybe." And I really thought about that. I was like as much as I have prejudice regarding like having a sexual encounter with a member of the trans community, at the same time, you kind of go like, if it's good,
Look,
it's good then.
if it's good, yeah,
it's
Yeah,
life.
There's nothing to be scared about. If you had a connection, you had a connection. That's
you had
it.
a connection.
That's it. That's all you need to think about. Not the fact that, oh, it's disgusting. What? How is it disgusting? It's basically to her knowledge, that was female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you care if it's a dude? Like after you have sex, then you both play Call of Duty, and then she calls you a fag.
Damn. You just sold it out for me. I'm just sold.
Yeah.
You can hang out with her. You can have sex with her. You can play games with her.
For real.
Dream girl. Okay. Ultimate dream girl.
I got this story, right? So I'm in a cyber cafe with my friends. We're playing Dota, right? We're playing Defense of the Ancients. And there's this large black dude, just buff as shit. He's like 280 pounds or something like that. And he looks friendly, but he's not talking or anything, right? And he's playing World of Warcraft. And I look at him, this Chad Tyrone hybrid over here. And I look at the screen and I'm like, okay, I guess buff black dudes can be giant nerds too. So I'm just playing, okay, and he hears how I speak. And it's like, your English is pretty good. Thanks. And he asks, where you from? And then we get to conversing, and then I make friends with him. And then we meet at New World Park the next day because he wants to hang out. I'm like, cool. I just made friends with the biggest, buffest black dude on the island. He mentioned my English was really good. I said, thank you. And like, did you spend time abroad? I was like, no, it's just a Malaysian thing. We pick up accents really well with enough exposure. And I was like, oh, you sound pretty cool. Like, thanks, man. You seem pretty cool, too. Hey, let's hang out sometime. Yeah, you want to hang out, like, tomorrow? Like, yeah, we'll meet here. So I meet this dude at New World Park. This is hawker center in the middle of Penang Island. And he's pretty cool. We get around. We get to talking. He's nice. And then halfway through, he says, because you're my friend now, I'd like to be clear with you. I'm actually bisexual, and I like both men and women. But then he goes into this long talk about how he doesn't fuck with women anymore because he had a girlfriend and she fucked him over, right? Now, as it turns out, this dude is like an ex-Navy sergeant, which explains why he's so buff. And he says that his ex-boyfriend was a Marine. So in my head, I'm already thinking the manliest fucking I have ever imagined in my life. The most buff, oily, homoerotic fucking I have ever imagined in my entire life.
Who's your daddy? You are, sir.
Yes.
I don't know what I've been told.
Put my dick inside this hole. Sound of 1, 2. Stand at attention, private. Which one? All of them. And I was, but this feels wholesome because what he would say is that because when you're with a guy, it's like you're just hanging out because after the sex you just sit down and play Xbox. I'm like, that sounds nice actually. Then I find out that his specific fetish is that he's a chubby chaser.
Okay? Of course, okay.
And then I realized, shit, I've been propositioned. This is the problem. And then I have to look. I appreciate the thing, but I don't really swing that way. But I'm flattered. But thank you. And then he starts going into like chubby chaser pool parties that happen in Penang. And then he's talking about all of his straight friends who go to these gay parties and they feel like their self-esteem improves because everybody finds them hot now. Right? And he's saying, look, you seem really down on yourself, like your self-esteem is garbage. Maybe show up for one of these pool parties. I'm not asking you to fuck anybody, but if you want to feel good about yourself, you should probably go. And I'm like, that's nice, man. That's a lovely offer. I can't take this much attention though, but thank you. Then I drive him home. I drive him to this low-rise hotel that looks like a mansion in one of these rich areas of the island where it's just rich people houses with no numbers on the walls, with no numbers outside. And one of them is like, it looks like a hotel, but there's no sign outside. And I drive him there, and he's like, "You sure you don't want to go to one of these parties?" I'm like, "You know what, man, it's fine." And we start talking in the car at night for like half an hour about stuff, and I realize there's a bit too much chemistry here. And then I'm like, you know what, I got a thing to do at home with the folks. But it's been nice seeing you. We should hang out sometime, you know.
If you spend 5 more minutes talking to him, do you think you could convince you
Tyrone would have bottomed
something
me out
happened?
like a fucking Mariana's Trench. Let's be real.
Hey, to be fair, I've been propositioned a few times as well. Like, you know, the reason why I did comedy was to get famous and get punani, right?
Yes.
And yeah, but
you're really aging yourself.
Yeah. That's how long I've done comedy. Now, look, the thing is, I can tell you firsthand, doesn't work, right? Because the only thing I've gotten was men coming up to me. Yeah, as you said, gay chubby chasers as well, who are I'm basically their type, and with the beard even worse. Right now, I'm the bear, right? So. Yeah, and I like anytime I go to a club, I don't have to buy drinks anymore, right? Because people recognize me and men buy me drinks all the time, right? And then I get proposition like which is why I hate going to clubs anymore, because I get proposition like a lot, right? And they're like, "Are you sure you're not gay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm very certain. You can ask my 8-year-old daughter. I'm not gay," right? And but you know. At this point, I relate more to gay men than I like to admit, because you know I can't remember the last time I had sex with a woman, and but you know, but the thing is, look, I can tell you one thing: your self-esteem is way, like, I swear to God, every time I get proposition, I'm like, still got it. You know, like Thor when he gets the hammer, like, I still got it.
Still got it.
Yeah.
And then you know, it was like, you know, and then the ladies look at me one kind like, yeah, like I'm like, oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't have anything.
You know what? You can keep your impossibly high standards, ladies, because the gays have my back, probably literally as well. But we can negotiate that later.
It's actually pretty fucking true. You enjoy the attention, really. You feel like, as much as you're gonna go, ugh, but at the same time you go like, ooh, somebody wants me. Somebody likes what they see. My friend in Berlin, who's like the filthiest place on earth, he's straight. He is straight as fuck, but he decided to go to a gay bar. I don't know why. I think one of his friends was gay and invited them to the gay bar. And he went there and he said, "Man, it felt really good." I was like, "What felt really good?" He's like, "Everybody are smiling at you. You get winks. You get like, everybody are pleasant. How's it going?" And the bartender like is like extra friendly a little bit, and you kind of, it just feels like it's good. It's good to feel wanted.
Okay. So in Bangkok, I was hosting this show with a very famous comedian. Now, I'm not going to mention names, but that comedian was gay, right? And for some strange reason, the organizers didn't realize he was gay. I mean, it was pretty obvious when he jokes about being gay, right? So he, in Bangkok, they took him out to the red light districts and, you know, the strip bars and everything. And this guy is like completely non-interested, right? And I'm the only one thinking, like, do they know he's gay? Like, you know, and then I pull him aside. I'm like, "Dude, are you okay? Like, you know, with this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm bored as hell." So I took him to the gay part of town, right? And he had the time of his life. And look, at the same time, because I was with him, like, I was getting all the attention as well. And yeah, it was, I have to say, you know,
I remember
this. And then I was propositioned into a hot tub with him and another guy, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I live across town.
The version I remember is that you got propositioned into a hot jacuzzi with him and two beautiful Thai boys.
Yes, correct. That is 100% correct. And yeah, look, because this guy is a famous comedian and like one of my heroes. Like he's the one of the guys I used to watch YouTube videos of before I did comedy. And like, you know, he was like, yeah, and he's propositioning me to a hot tub jacuzzi. I'm like, this could be it. This could be it. Like, you know, this could be my ticket in.
You're about to Weinstein yourself for.
Why not? Yeah,
you might as well do it with someone you admire. It's like for me, it's like if I ever gonna fuck a guy, I never want to be fucked by a guy, but if I want to be fucked a guy, it would be Jason Momoa, because that's a challenge.
Like, that's true. We've talked about this before.
I'm having my aim on.
The way you said it, it's like, I don't want to be fucked by a guy because that's gay, but I want to fuck a guy who's Jason Momoa. Like, that's, okay, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Like, what?
No, I understand.
Oh, no. I didn't say I don't want to get fucked by a guy because that's gay. If I'm fucked or getting fucked both ways, it is bad.
But that's how it sounded. I'm just saying, like, look, if Jason Momoa came and propositioned me, I would be like, we can be equal lovers, okay? You can be on top, I can be on top sometimes, you know. We can take that.
I mean, he's pretty big. You might have to be.
And also, look, with Jason Momoa, I don't think I have a choice. All right?
Yeah.
I think he can. I think I would be pretty much in a position where, you can do whatever you want to me, lah. I'm not going to fight back.
I think you would be in all the positions.
You might want to be careful. Yeah. See, here's the thing. Because the person I chose is Jason Momoa, I'm being more strategic about it because I will not be the same after him. He's going to slice you in half with his dick.
My choice is Hugh Jackman. So, well, to be fair,
he's
manageable. He's more manageable.
He's a huge Jackman.
Oh, no. If Hugh Jackman would show up in front of me right now and say, like, look, have me, I'm like, yes,
I'll do it.
Would it be the one?
I don't know what happened.
Is it, okay, which version of Hugh Jackman? Because I imagine it'll be the version of Hugh Jackman who's butt naked wearing cowboy boots in that ad that Ryan Reynolds has on his channel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, any version of Hugh Jackman, because at the end of the day, it will involve him naked in cowboy boots.
Yeah. The cowboy boots are a must.
Yes. No, whatever version propositions, it's a yes.
Post X-Men or pre X-Men? Like, I'm talking about the amount of beef. Like, how muscular do you want them to be? The more steroid he's on, the longer he's gonna fuck you.
Well, the harder for him to stay hard as well. So, well, fair enough. It'll be less painful. Just for a longer time.
You say that, I know.
I mean, I don't know, okay, but at this point, I'm not gonna count marbles at this point. I'm just gonna say, hey,
God, I have
at one point, you just have to go to the center of the storm and accept what's happening and try to enjoy it.
This conversation has degraded so much.
Yeah, I was not aware.
I don't mind being called Kavin Raj anymore, huh? Guys.
Kavin Raj.
Kelvin Raj with the L.
Calvin Raj.
It sounds like a fancy branding.
Calvin Raj. Are you wearing? Oh my God! Are you wearing a Calvin Raj? Oh yes. How did you know?
Yes. This autumn's collection. Yes.
Calvin Raj, Kaya, Muthu, Velu.
Warm up your titties with Calvin Raj. But one thing, I had some friends going to Bangkok. I don't know how true this is. There are you might find tidbits about it online. He went to the red light districts and met with the she-males and everything, was having a party and all that shit. He came and said, like, hey, they know Jean-Claude Van Damme. They know him. And I said, oh, yeah, okay. And it's like, no, they really know him. I was like, what do you mean? It was like, well, Jean-Claude is quite big in Thailand and apparently is quite into she-males. And he travels there at least like once a year or something and put them in a truckload of them in a van and just fucking bring him up to their penthouse, bring up to his penthouse and starts fucking.
he just starts committing a bunch of trans.
Yeah, apparently
ladies.
he's really into females.
Well, more power to the dude.
Belgians are,
I mean,
Okay,
whatever rocks
fucking
your boat, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just impressed that he can do
It explained a lot. It explains a lot, though. That's why I like when he does the splits. I always wondered how he does it. So now I'm like, all right, that's how he does the splits.
I can explain how he does the splits. It's called flexibility.
Nah, right? Nope. It's called sodomy. It's called sodomy.
I don't think you can do the splits after sodomy. I
think you can. If you can, well, good for you. But I don't think it's a performance enhancement. It's more like a performance debilitating.
Yeah.
Like, look, after you have a good round of the sodomy, you're gonna hope that your anal beads are made of ice, just to stop the swelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially if you use it like a chainsaw starter, you know.
Yeah. Why?
Well, fuck. So yeah.
Oh my god! Now I'm getting flashbacks of your 2-stroke joke. You want to tell the podcast about the 2-stroke?
This cannot no. Okay, look, I used to work on a ship, right?
Okay.
So the crew quarters has a common room where there's a TV, there's video, and obviously when you're 40 men on a ship, what do you watch? Mostly porn, right? So they had a porn DVD on with double penetration, right? So as I walked in to the crew mess, the first thing I saw on TV was this 2 cocks going into one the ass, one the vagina, right? And it's going up and down. And I looked at the screen and somebody just shouted from the back, "That's a 2-stroke." And I turned around and left. That's when I realized, this is not where I want to be.
I don't think. I mean, I'm sure you could double penetrate a trans lady, but it would take a lot more effort.
Yeah, it's basically 2 in 1 hole rather than 2 in 2 holes.
Yeah. And that's
we're really breaking down the science here.
I mean, it's 100% science.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's basic anatomy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Med school shit.
Remember the good old days of that was like you thought that was the edge of like how promiscuous somebody could become, like, oh, the DP or whatever. Now it's like all over the fucking place with the 50 Shades of Grey, the chainsaw that the pretty much
chainsaw anal bead, yeah.
Chainsaw anal bead.
Chainsaw anal bead.
Chainsaw anal beads? Come on.
You know, pull start anal beads.
I have seen anal beads. I have not seen chainsaw and anal beads be used in the same sentence before.
So. No. Yes. It's still anal beads. It's just used as chainsaw starter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're that one weird lumberjack that everybody talks about when you start cutting down trees. Hey, did you hear about Calvin Raj's chainsaw?
Isn't there something odd about
the pull starter? Yeah, the pull starter's got one too many bumps on it. You know what I mean? And then every time he starts the chainsaw,
like shit.
Yeah, no. And then when the chainsaw starts up, it doesn't make a noise like a normal chainsaw. He pulls it and he goes, ah, you know, like the chainsaw kind of likes it. And
I am no expert, but I'm very sure if you pull anal beads that fast out of someone, I don't think they're gonna like it.
No.
There would be some damage.
If you pull an anal bead that fast out of someone, you fucking, it's like that's a Mortal Kombat finishing move. Just fucking
you pull it out as I think I have a lung. I'm not.
No, also the fact that that guy needs an asshole transplant at that point. Okay.
Yes. We can rebuild him better, faster, stronger, more anal beady.
Bionic asshole.
Bionic
asshole.
No, you know the $6 million man?
Yeah.
Right? You know, in the 80s, $6 million would have bought a whole man, right?
Yeah.
In 2021, $6 million would have bought him an asshole. That's the only part that's bionic.
Yeah. But it's a good asshole. Like it's got rocket boosters.
Good asshole.
Yeah, it's got like 5G
it lights up,
it.
lights your cigarettes.
Yeah, it turns into a flamethrower.
Every time he uses it, there's a sound effect.
No, I remember this. I saw this GIF image on like an image board somewhere, and it was one of these like live action sort of like superhero Super Sentai shows out of Japan.
Right.
So you know it's already going to be weird as shit.
Yeah.
And I think the protagonist was like a cyborg girl, and one of her super moves was like the shyness machine gun. Right.
The shyness machine gun. Okay. All right.
The shyness machine. Already, this is terrible. So the shyness machine gun was basically a Gatling gun that came out of her butt. It activates when she's embarrassed. So when she's embarrassed, she's like, "Oh no, you saw my panties!" And then this Gatling gun comes out of her butt, and there's what the hell is going on? And then she goes back into serious mode. Haha! Whenever I get embarrassed, a Gatling gun comes out of my butt as a super devastating super move. And then she goes back to being embarrassed. Oh no, you saw my panties! And all the monsters die.
Wow.
What's the name of this anime again?
Yeah, I need to keep this down for research purposes for the next episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, you know, I got to do a review on this.
Yes. I'm sure you can do a search on Japanese machine gun.
That would be
it's like your search
anime called Gatling Gun Anus. I'm watching it right now.
If my girlfriend like goes through my search history and sees like Gatling Gun Anus, she'll fucking break up with me in a second.
Oh yeah, I know.
Or she might be really turned on by it. Like,
you're like, ooh, Gatling Gun.
No. I found out what it's called. The Hajirai Machine Girl.
Okay, I just need to know what Hajirai means now.
It literally means
anus. So it's
no.
Anus.
It's called Shyness Machine Girl.
Okay, shyness, as in SHINUS.
Yes, with a Y. SHYNESS.
Oh, shyness, like shy.
Like shy, yeah, not shine anus. Not the combination of shine and anus.
No, although that would make sense. So it's like,
shyness.
So she's a shy anus machine gun.
Yeah.
No, she's just a shy schoolgirl because it's Japan after all. So it's a shy schoolgirl who also happens to be like an android or a cyborg. And one of her weapons is like a 6-barreled Gatling gun coming out of her butt. Because why not?
Shy anus machine gun.
Yeah, no, like...
That's like... is that something Arnold used in Terminator 2? I think he'll be a fan of it.
When he was shooting at the cops, he picked up a Japanese schoolgirl.
He picked up a girl.
Firing her butt. And just started firing on the cops from the top of the sky. Good quality shit. You know what? All that effort into putting customizable genitals in Cyberpunk 2077, they should have given these people machine gun butts.
Yeah.
Wasted opportunity. Opportunity.
Such a disappointment.
I would have overlooked the whole, gameplay, which is shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
All of this hype about the mantis blades, all this hype about the customizable thing, all of it. People would have ignored the bugs, the crashes, the memory hogging. People would have ignored all of that if you just gave them the opportunity to use a Gatling gun butt.
As an anus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As an anus. Like, okay, look at the game. It was a game called Postal. And that game was successful. Postal, yeah. The game was successful because you could use a cat as a silencer.
I remember that.
Yeah. Why the fuck did Cyberpunk didn't use this shit?
Look, the problem with Postal is that it's too much like 14-year-old edgelord on 4chan trying to be funny sort of game, right? So it's like the kitten is a little bit in bad taste. However, if you gave me a bazooka and I stuff it with a kitten and I fire the kitten at somebody's face and then the kitten just claws their eyeballs out, I would be down for that.
Actually, yeah, that would be, yeah. Actually, you know what? Yep, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
And if only Cyberpunk did that for us, that would have been very good. And then you waited for 10 years to get that piece of shit. Even sex scenes sucked. Like, there's literally no reason for me to play that game.
Yeah, I wanted my 7-headed cyber genital with electroprod attachment
to have a meaning.
And
I wanted to go pick up 7 hookers to fuck them at the same time with my 7-headed dick.
With my octopus crotch. Yes. Because you're a cyborg. You can have as many dicks and vaginas as you want.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know? And if you really want a good sex game, Business Suit Larry.
Really? You're really aging yourself now.
Really? No, it's a great game.
Business Suit Larry, the fuck is that?
Leisure Suit Larry, that's
Leisure Suit Larry. Sorry,
Leisure Suit Larry.
Leisure. Okay.
Suit Larry.
Okay, that the first thing that came up is a Leisure Suit Larry Wet Dreams. When is this from?
That's the remake.
1987. 1987, dude. How old are
you? Very old. But also the fact that that was the first game that you could actually go out and have sex. Like you could.
Fuck.
What I like about it is that it came from that same generation of LucasArts point and click adventures.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like Day of the Tentacle and Sam and Max. Leisure Suit Larry was like part of that pantheon. And it's a weird sort of era where everything looked really childish, but all the humor was fucked up.
Yep. It's basically your Harvey Weinstein in a game. I'm not kidding.
No,
in 1987, they was like, that's what's happening.
So I was only introduced to the concept, basically.
So I remember the first games that I played that had sex was one GTA. I was like, oh fuck, that's good.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It was a mod.
3, I think 3 and 4.
Oh, okay. I haven't played GTA 3 and 4.
I think 5. It was Vice City.
No, 4. Sorry, it was 4. 3 didn't have sex. Vice City, you go and pick up a girl. You go to a normal place, and then the car starts moving. And another one that happened, the one that did it big, and I was almost I think I was hitting puberty at the same time, was Max Payne 2.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
For me, it was Leisure Suit Larry, and then it was God of War.
God of War, yeah, and then the God of War, yeah.
Yeah, but it was really sex. And the worst part is the games you play now, Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. They have sex, but you don't see it. They don't
see it. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, they just go off screen and do stuff and then come back and you're like, what happened?
What happened? Jesus. Yeah. I've been climbing this tower for 5 hours just to see you, and all I get is a fucking candle blowing out. The fuck?
I mean, look, if the whole context is that sex is gonna happen, and then you wake up suddenly and you're asking what happened, I feel like that's the Bill Cosby simulator you've been playing.
Yeah. And then right after the game, I usually play the Louis C.K. simulator.
Yes.
So
it's basically a Doom mod, but the only weapon you have is Louis C.K.'s dick, and it just shoots cum at plant monsters.
No, the whole time you're just holding your controller and there's a guy just jacking off in front of you. That's it. Really? You cannot change the scene. You can't. There's nothing you can press that can change this. That is all. Until he comes and then game over. That's it.
What you mentioned here sounds like a game that woke people, woke culture would actually make. It's so perfect. It is so perfect right now what you mentioned. I can see that as one of these means of protest. And it's the game you play, new game, and then you pick a name and you make your avatar, and then but you can't win. See,
you can't do anything. It's just this guy jacking off the whole time on screen. You're like, X, no. And then he comes, and then you're like, game over. You win.
You win. That's the funny part.
Oh, you win, but the game over.
In VR.
In VR. Experience the ginger in VR.
You know what the British version of that one's called?
What?
Spotted Dick.
Spotted Dick.
I spotted Dick.
Yes.
Shit. Back to your being in Britain, like, how was like the white people would treat you?
I was in a place called Newcastle where in the late 90s, they've never seen a brown person before. And like I swear to God, I used to walk around with my rugby team and stuff like that, and in the streets, and children used to run up to me and go, "Why are you brown?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then their parents used to like run up to them like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's because of the sun." And like, yeah, but that's how it is. But I mean, in the cities there were black people, I guess, and in the town that was at, which is a very small town called South Shields, there were Arabic students as well, which everybody thought I was, because every Arabic guy comes up to me and speaks to me in Arabic. I'm like, I'm Malaysian, bro.
To be fair, you look like a Saudi
to
right
be fair,
now.
dude, you look so Saudi, dude.
I know.
I looked at you like, fuck.
Listen, I have had that, urge to blow something up. But however, it's the thing. Like okay. One thing I have to say about the Arabs at that point was because they were earning as scholarship students, right? We all earn money, right? So I used to be sponsored by Petronas, who gave us £350 a month to live, right? So the British students were getting maybe £500 a month. The Omani students used to get £1,600 a month, right? So they used to get a shit ton of money, and they were very rich. And Omanis, right? Yeah. And then there was Kuwaitis as well, who used to earn like thousand something. You could see the disparity of this thing. So they used to drive around in cars, luxury cars, and splash the cash, right? So everybody hated them, right? Because they were that people, right? And it was nothing to do with the race. It was just that they were cocky bastards, right? So yeah, so everybody thought I was one of them, right? And the thing is, and nobody wanted to have anything to do with them because as I said, I was in a very small town where everybody knew everybody, and it was a poor town, right? It wasn't a rich place. So yeah, when they see rich people, they kind of go like, yeah, we don't want to be with them. But then I'm here walking around with my rugby team when they and so there was some sort of interaction, and they didn't know how to address this. So yeah. So it was a very racist place. I remember, like, I like the fact that after 2011 they were more scared of me than I was of them, the racists, right?
That's probably refreshing. Let's be real.
I remember getting robbed once. This is post 9/11. I was getting robbed, and I was with a white guy, right? And they were like, give us all your money, and I'm like, dude, I have no money. And I could see the other, like, there was two guys. There were two kids, really, who really, with knives and wanted to rob. And, like, one guy was like, give us all your money. And the other guy was just like, yeah, we'll take this guy's money, but you're all right. You'll be okay, right? Just yeah. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Right? It was just like, this guy was just trying to be nice to me the whole time.
Hey, bruv. Like, nothing personal, yeah? Like, I don't want any heat on me right now from, like, Al-Qaedis. Like, he's the man who heads Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah? I don't want any heat from him.
No, but yeah, it was so weird, like, everybody, and then I get detained at airports all the time, right? Because
even with the tattoos,
no, that time I didn't have much tattoos.
Okay.
I didn't. Now I have more, but those days I didn't have that many tattoos. And I remember getting stuck in Turkish airport in Istanbul, where this was in 2002, right? When Malaysian passports first started having chips in them, right? Now they forgot to tell I don't know what happened, but somehow or other they forgot to tell the Turkish government that this happened. So I was stuck in the Istanbul airport. I missed my flight. I was stuck in the Istanbul airport while them checking out my passport, going, who put the chip in your passport? I'm like, I don't know, the government? It's like, did you put the chip in the... I'm like, why would I put a chip in the passport? Like, you tell me. I was interrogated for 4 hours about a chip in the passport, which I didn't know about.
They didn't know about...
Eventually, someone had the bright idea to call the Malaysian embassy and go, do you all have chips in your passport? Yes, we do. All right, you're free to go.
They did not know that Malaysians have microchips in their passports?
No, this was 2002 when they first started
we don't.
Chips.
Oh, you don't. Okay.
We still don't. We still don't have chips in our passport. Well, it's good.
There is a reason for that, right? Because you don't want to be stuck
very good reason
for 6 hours being interrogated. And who put the chip in your passport?
Yeah, also, I don't think Iran and Turkey get along anyway, so that's a no-go.
Iran and Turkey now kind of get along with each other enough.
No? Really?
Now
now we're pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, Turkey doesn't get along with everyone else.
I don't know how Malaysia is doing with Turkey.
No, we like to suck up to everybody.
Let's
be real. It reminds me of Serbian film.
No, not that extreme.
Why do you have to bring that shit up?
No, not the Serbian film. Something more subtle.
Serbian film is like a punch in the face.
You know what's funny? I never watched it. I never watched it.
Don't waste your time.
Everybody came to me like, dude, you gotta watch the Serbian film. It's all they fuck each other, rape and everything. I was like, why would I want to watch that?
No, don't waste your time. It's a horrible movie. I made the mistake of watching it, and I'm like, no, it's unrankable. Cannot.
That's your problem. Unrankable. Is that where your fucking compass lies? It's unrankable.
Yeah.
But that and XXX.
XXX.
Is that a porn?
No, it's a porn parody of The Exorcist, right? The XXX, and it's fucking hilarious. You watch it not for the sex, you watch it for the fucking dialogue. It's amazing, right? It's
I just want to know
so
who plays in it.
I just want to know.
Fucked if I know. But it's one of those films where like the priest is like, he's reading from the Bible, and then the girl who is possessed is like, fuck me, and he's like, close the book, and I guess I have to fuck the devil out of her, and and
solid line.
Yeah, without betting an eye, right? And then there's projectile vomiting from all orifices.
As you do.
And at one point the mother joins in because
I just here's what I want to know.
We need to save her life. How much? Yeah, what do you want to know?
Here's what I want to know. Who watched The Exorcist and thought to himself, this needs to be sexier?
I need to do a porn movie version of this.
I want to watch this, but I also want to jerk off to this. How can I do this? And you know what? That's the kind of visionary, creative freedom that we just don't see anymore.
No.
And
No, listen. If you can get to watch XXX, please do. Not for anything. It's unbelievable. But also
I'm looking it up on
I watched a Star Trek porn parody where with Evan Stone.
I know what you're talking about as well.
Yeah, there was one where it's actually famous for it became famous for the ending because the girl who they were fucking, I think it was Evan Stone who was fucking her asshole swells up. So you have the fucking going on for like 40 minutes, and then when the cum shot happens, it's a totally different person. Suddenly it's a totally different person. You're like, wait, what happened? Turns out because her asshole swelled up, they rented the studio by the hour, so they were waiting for her to like find a solution, and nothing would happen. And so there was a porn star in a nearby studio like came by to say hi, and the director was like, "Oh my god, we're losing money, guys!" And it's like, "Hey, would you be willing for Evan Stone to come on your face?" She was like, "Hell yeah!" And so you have this blonde who's been fucked for an hour, and suddenly ends with a redhead. It's like getting a cum shot on her face.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, this is where bionic asshole would have come into play.
Yeah,
exactly.
I watched the one like the parodies. The more time has passed, has become worse. Like they were much more less creative. I saw one called Robocock.
No, Robocock was amazing. What are you talking about? RoboCop was great.
Wait. I just Googled XX Exorcist, and it just occurred to me, wasn't the girl in The Exorcist under like a young teenage girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
I realized
that
the creepier thing about the XX Exorcist isn't the horror themed sex. It's the fact that the main character was underage. I just realized
this one is older. Okay, this one doesn't. They changed the story for dramatic purposes.
I have concerns.
You touch a very delicate point.
In the same Star Wars parody that he was talking about, well, it starts off with what's his name, Darth Vader fucking Leia.
So
it was Star Wars parody. Sorry, not Star Trek. Sorry, I mixed the Star Trek parody with the Star Wars parody. Sorry, yeah.
I want to talk about RoboCop right now because yes, because I feel like we need to get back to the important issues. You mentioned that it was great.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Like he has funny as hell. I don't know why. It was a comedy.
Yeah, the dude pulls out his dick, and the dick like opens. It has this like metallic look. It has a CGI dick.
Exactly. Hey, Guardians of the Galaxy porn parody was great as well. Groot is a female. Actually, no, Groot is a dildo, but still. You know what? I'm done. Rick and Morty. So much easier.
Rick and Morty, yeah, it's out. Watch Rick and Morty. It's so much worth your time. But which has a porn parody also.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Rick fucks.
Who's fucking who?
Morty.
Rick fucks Mr. Meeseeks. No. Rick fucks. What's it called? The Unity.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Rick fucks
Unity. Mr. Meeseeks also fucks somebody.
Mr. Meeseeks fucks a girl. Morty is a girl as well who gets fucked by I don't remember who's from Morty.
A lot of people.
Everyone.
I don't know why he needed to be a girl to get fucked. Morty gets fucked all the time.
Horrible.
That's not literally. This one literally.
Yeah, this one he literally gets fucked, and you wonder they do catchphrases.
There's the Big Bang Theory porn parody as well.
Yeah.
Just before we move on, is Pickle Rick a dildo in this?
There's not a Pickle Rick episode out yet, but I'm sure it will be.
I just want to see if there's a Pickle Rick dildo.
I saw.
Sure?
There is. You don't even need to see. There is. There's that. There's Aladdin.
Oh God, there's so many.
There's Aladdin, which is called Alacock. Aladick. Aladick. Sorry, no, Aladick.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a black dude in a blue body paint, and he has to pretend that he's singing.
No, Guardians of the Galaxy. That one was my favorite.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, SpongeBob. Oh yes,
SpongeBob. What kind of twisted shit do you want?
Yeah, SpongeBob fucks
Squirrel Girl.
Yeah. So yeah. And it's my favorite porn actress as well. So yeah, it was a very strange wank for me.
Who was your favorite porn actress?
Skin Diamond.
Skin Diamond. Never heard of that. Such a slutty name. Skin Diamond.
That is. I've never heard a more stripperific name in my
Skin
life.
Diamond. She black?
Google it. Skin Diamond.
I'm gonna have to scrub the shit out of my browser history after this. Skin Diamond is really pretty. She's like a sort of like a Rihanna-ish looking girl.
Yeah. I see. I see what you like. Yeah.
It's like good for you. You get yourself. Your favorite porn actress is somebody of color. That's very.
Oh yeah, of course.
Very progressive.
I mean, there's also Honey Gold, which is a different one.
Honey Gold.
Also,
Honey Gold. She is like super mixed, right? So she's black, Latino, Asian, and white all in one.
She looks black. She looks Filipino.
Yeah, that's the Asian part.
Yeah,
but she's also she's quarter black. She's quarter Latino. She's quarter white.
Yeah.
Like she's everything.
I see.
Oh,
she really. What ethnicity she looks like really depends on how tanned her skin is.
Yeah. Depends on what angle you look at.
Right is.
Yep. And also the fact that, look, she's a very good performer. And
what constitutes good performance?
She fits in every genre. Like Latino, you search Latino, she shows up. You search Asian, she shows up. You search black, she shows up. You search white, she shows up. She's transcending the whole thing.
She's right? The future.
When she does a solo, it's interracial.
Yeah. Shit.
That's the funniest thing I've heard in my life. When the girl does a solo, it's also an interracial.
Oh, fuck. I would love to talk more about Robocock and your peculiar taste in porn actresses.
Hey, listen, okay? You all got to do what you got to do.
I appreciate the ethnic ambiguity. That's good taste.
It shows that he strives for diversity even in his rank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come for diversity.
It's a very, very 500 years from now, that's what humanity is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's evolved from. I mean, okay, it started out with blonde hair, blue eyes, big tits, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then it moved on slowly, to dong porn, 3GP. Now it's
So this is the sweet spot. This is the middle ground.
Oh yeah, this is the middle ground. This is the sweet spot. Yeah.
Between your 1980s.
You like your food the way you like your nasi. It's like your food, your porn is like nasi lemak, basically. I want chicken. I want a bit of fucking peanuts and a bit of rice. A bit of fucking what was that fish? A bit of dried fish. What is that thing that you have in it?
Ikan-bilis?
Yeah.
It's more like it's you know what it is. It's like sometimes you want your food like fried noodles from a mama shop. Like, are you Indian? Are you Chinese? You're obviously brown, but I don't know what you are.
Sometimes you're wet, sometimes you're dry.
Yeah. Sometimes you got a couple of eggs on top of you.
So
but
remember,
it's delicious.
So the moral of this entire podcast is to wank responsibly and with diversity. Yes. Wank equally.
Yes.
Equal wank.
And with Honey Gold, you're doing it once for everyone.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show, fuckers. Till the next episode. I'll stop the recording now before we go further.